Hi friends, this week is Read Across America Week, and on March 2nd is Read Across America Day. So in honor of this week, I am going to share with you my top 5 favorite books. I got this beautiful idea to share with you my top favorite books from another YouTube teacher from Kind Kindergarten. Her channel is linked below in my description. Go ahead and click it and check out her channel. Now this challenge was actually pretty hard because there's so many awesome, wonderful books. I can't imagine just saying these are the only 5 or the top 5. They're definitely some of my favorites. And I'm going to go through each one with you just a little bit without giving too much away. So the first book I'm going to show you is called David Goes to School by David Shannon. This is one of my favorite books. I read this book every single year, especially in the beginning of the year, to talk about the rules. David loves to break all the rules in class. And I love this book. One of the reasons I love this book is I just love the illustrations. They're just so entertaining and gets a great reaction out of the kids. And it's a great way to talk about things you should or shouldn't be doing in your classroom. So this is definitely a must. The second book that I'm going to share with you that I think is a really, really good book is called Hello and Goodbye Book by Aliki. This is also a popular book. A lot of teachers already know this book and use this book in their classroom. I think this is a great book. One of the main reasons I like it is because it talks about the different meanings of hello and goodbye, and it also incorporates a lot of different cultures. And one of my favorite things is towards the end, where it talks about the goodbyes and how there's so many different kinds of goodbyes. And it briefly touches on, I'm just going to read that one part of it. But not saying goodbye is always rude. Some goodbyes are not easy to say. Some goodbyes are hard to say. And then it just has this page that really touches my heart. It says, a goodbye that lasts forever hurts the most. So it's really nice. It doesn't dwell on people passing away. It's not a sad book, but I like that it touches on it without making a big deal about it. And then it continues talking about the best time for a goodbye is when the sun goes down and the moon comes up, and so on and so forth. So especially if you have a kid in your classroom or someone in your family that's experienced some kind of loss, I think this is a really nice book in general. It's just a beautiful, beautiful book. A definite must-have for your classroom library. Book number 3 that I have here is called Ruby the Copycat by Peggy Rothman. This is another really nice book because it talks about copying, especially in the younger kids. You always hear, oh, she copied me, she did this, she did that. There's a lot of this going on. And it's a nice way to talk about and bring the discussion about, well, people copy people that they like. They're not necessarily trying to be annoying or trying to hurt your feelings. So it's a really good segue into those conversations, and it's a pretty fun book, and the illustrations are nice too. So if you have any of those issues going on in your classroom, definite read. Okay, book number 4 is called Lucy and the Bully. So like I said, there's so many books that I love. But I'm especially in love with these books that encourage the social emotional skills and that bring about the issues like bullying, like the copycat from the previous book. This is by Claire Alexander. And it just talks about some ways that Lucy is being bullied at school, how she feels, what she's reluctant to tell because she's afraid of what might happen. And then she ends up, telling about what's going on with her, and then how, it resolves towards the end. So it's really nice. I'm trying not to give you too many of the details, but even if you don't have any bullying in your school, I think it's a really nice book to read so kids understand what bullying is, what are the symptoms, the signs, and what are some ways that they can handle bullying. So this is a great book to have in your classroom. So any book that has to do with social emotional skills, get it, read it, introduce it, have that dialogue with your children. The 5th book, the last book that I'm going to share one more. I'm going to share 6. I know I said 5, but I'm going to share 6. I lied. The 5th book is called Personal Space Camp. This is one of the newer books that I've been introduced to this year, actually. And I am doing a kindness curriculum this year. I will write the link to the website that has the kindness curriculum for free in the description if you're interested in using it with your classroom. It's a free online resource that has lesson plans and ideas from K all the way to up to 8th grade. So it's really, really nice. And one of the books that they recommended for us to read is called Personal Space Camp. And it's by Julia Cook. And it is wonderful to teach about personal space. The main character here thinks that they're a space expert. They love space and they're thinking about the space theme, as you can see in the cover. But the teacher and the principal are trying to teach about personal space and respecting each other's boundaries. And that's a part of the kindness curriculum that we're actually going to be tackling this week at school. So this is what I'm going to be reading this week with my kids at school. So definitely a great book to check out and teach. And also, another reason this is a great book is because in here are activities that the principal is doing with the kids to teach them personal space and boundaries, some games that they're playing with hula hoops that actually have some really nice, neat ideas in here. So for example, so here you can see that they're practicing being inside of hula hoops, how it feels to be inside of a hula hoop by yourself. How does it feel to be inside of a hula hoop with so many friends? Although that could totally backfire on you because sometimes kids do like being that close with each other. It kind of depends on culture and the kids in the classroom, right? And then they practice holding on to the rope. Yep. They practice holding on to the rope and walking to practice a safe distance when you're walking in line with the person in front of you and behind you. And then one activity that they did in the book that I actually really, really liked is they drew outlines of each other like this, which is something that I've done with my kids in the past, and they do really enjoy doing that. There was this one time they didn't enjoy it, but most of the time they do enjoy making these outlines. And then they cut them out. And then afterwards, the principal talked about, well, let's see how much space you take on the rug if you're just standing up versus if you're laying down. And it was a great visual for kids to see that, okay, if I lay down on the carpet, my body takes a lot more space. Versus when I sit crisscross applesauce, I'm sitting nicely, then I have enough space for my friends to sit next to me, and I'm not taking up too much space. So it's a great way to explain, well, why do you have to sit crisscross applesauce? Why can't you just lay down on the rug and take up all this space? Because if they all lay down, there wouldn't be enough space and everybody wouldn't be comfortable. So there's a lot of neat ideas and things that you can not only use this book for reading, but use the activities inside to teach your kids as well. So this is a really fun book, and I plan on using some of those activities with my kids this week. I hope I'll get to it. And I say I hope I'll get to it because there's always so many fun things that you want to do. There isn't necessarily always as much time in the day. All right, so for the last book, I know this is book number 6, but this is a great book. I'm sure a lot of you already know about this book as well. It's called Little Blue and Little Yellow by Leo Leone. So in this book, Little Blue and Little Yellow are best friends, and it says on the back too, when they hug each other, something special happens. And of course, you know, they change colors, and when they play together, they're having a great time together. They go home and their parents don't recognize them because they've turned green. So I'm going to definitely use this book, read this book with my students this week, and then we're going to do this activity. They're going to wear like a construction paper bib. I just put hole punch on white construction paper and then put yarn around it to tie it around their neck. And then we're going to put blue paint on one child's and yellow paint on the other child's, and then I'm going to have them hug each other. And then when they pull apart, they can see that together when they hugged each other and they came apart, they were able to make the color green, just sort of like that they did inside the book. So this is a great way to show and talk about how, you know, we are different individuals. We're wonderful on our own, but when we come together, we can make something even more magical and wonderful. So that's my top 6 favorite books. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please click like and subscribe. I hope you also check out these books and read them at home with your children or at school with your students, so you can not only share that joy and love of reading beautiful, wonderful books, but open up that dialogue and have those deeper, meaningful conversations with your children. Till next time, happy teaching. Bye-bye.